Okay, again. So the center of the
This is Mikhail.
and this is about the wheel of life. And there's a whole story about it. We will take more time to get the whole story because it's so beautiful, the story, how it came about. But it's about the center of the wheel. This is the engine of samsara, the drive of all the drama. And the drive is the three poisons. Unawareness, which is we are not aware of the nature of our mind. We are just aware of the things happening in our mind and we go for them, having all the drama, identifying with it. Basic unawareness. The second one is attachment or desire. Everything pleasant, we want to have more of it. So our programming is like everything which is pleasant, we like and we want more and more and more, and it's never enough. And then there's anger, everything unpleasant, we don't like, we want to get rid of, we stop it, we want to prevent it, but it's never enough of stopping. There are always things we don't like, and there are always things we want but we don't get, and this is suffering.
And they're represented
As three animals. It's a pig. It's
also this is the hub.
yeah. This is a pig. This is what is it? I think it's
Snake and a bird.
Yeah, a snake and a bird, and I just don't remember which one is representing which one, but it's not so important. Yeah. And then the second one is in the Tibetan wheel of life. This is the bardo state between death and rebirth. There is a time of mainly 6-7 weeks where after death the personality dissolves, and out of the karma, of the imprints in karma, a new personality ripens, and this process is experienced as drama of the soul, like a nightmare, and this is called the bardo state. And there is the bardo state which is not so full of suffering. If you have good karma, then you go up in the wheel of life.
It's like the white one.
Yeah, and then there's the black one, which is when you have a lot of bad karma, the next life will be a life full of suffering, and you feel it in the bardo already that all this bad karma is now constituting to be a new person. Yeah? And then there comes the 6 realms, and this is basically 6 trips you can live in, and there are different scales of interpretation. The biggest scale of interpretation is that our life is happening in one of the 6 realms, and the smallest scale of interpretation is it's the trip you are just running. What are the 6 realms? Start with the human realm. That's what we know as human beings. We need something to do, to get, to organize.
It's which one?
It's the realm, either this one or that one. I think it's that one. Yeah, it's a realm where we have the typical things in life. We need to do something to get our life sustained, and we have sickness, old age, death, all that kind of stuff. But it's one of the upper realms. There are 3 upper realms, 3 lower realms, because as a human being, we have the chance to create good karma, and mainly we have the chance to meditate and to liberate ourselves out of samsara. And then there is the well-known realm of the animals. You can see it here. The animals on land, the animals in water. And this is one of the lower realms, because as animals, we have no choice. We are just living the karma, and we are just following the imprints, the karmic imprints, the genetic imprints, and thus we suffer karma. We do not build up so much karma. Yeah. So, and then there's the realm of the hungry ghosts. That's beings with a big belly, but with a very small throat. And the experience is, I do not get what I need. The hungry ghosts. And it is a realm which is not physically connected so much to our realm. So there are kind of spirits, ghosts. Sometimes they are connecting to a place or to a person when they have a lot of attachment to that. Then we know it as spooks. But there are also realms which are not connected to us, but sometimes there are, how to say, possibilities for them to communicate with us or for us to communicate with them. The main thing is they cannot get what they want, and it's the karma of being, what is it, stingy. If you in this life you do not share, you have the feeling of it's not enough for me, not enough for me. You will have a life where you do not have what you need. A hungry ghost. But it can also be a trip. So when you go to sauna or to nudist beach, being a young lady or a young man, you will notice a lot of hungry ghosts. You know what I mean? Yeah?
But
Undersexed men who are staring, hungry, and not getting what they want.
right.
You know what I mean, yeah? So that's also a state of hungry ghost. And also with the animals. The animal is the realm we know when we talk about animals, but it's also a possibility when you're very, very hungry, when you're very, very in your demands, when you are in a drug situation, you can be like an animal. Yeah, and there are people who just live like fulfilling their body demands and nothing else. So this is similar to the animal realm. And then there's the lowest realm. This is the so-called hell realm, and this is suffering. And we know it from our everyday life. There are situations when the suffering is so big that there's nothing else than suffering. So when we have heavy pain, or for example, I was scheduled for a talk, teaching in a distant city, and I was driving my car. There were 80 people waiting for me to give the talk, and I was caught in the traffic jam. And I could not come out of the traffic jam, so it took hour for hour. So this is also kind of if you're buried into the steering wheel and cannot do anything. So this is the hell realm, but it's also possible with a lot of anger and a lot of suffering you caused for other people. After dying, you go into a situation where you encounter all the bad imprints you produced by causing so much suffering. It's all coming as kind of demons, as kind of heat or cold or any kind of suffering. And this can take quite long, but it's not forever. Once the karma is, how to say, is
Cleared out.
is done, and then you go to another realm. Yeah? So that's the lower realms, and then the human realm we have talked about, and then there's the semi-god realm and the god realm. The semi-god realm is, now let's talk about the god realm before. In our human sphere, we know people who seem to be gifted with everything. They are beautiful, they are rich, they have everything. Yeah, so they live on a different level. That's our idea. Yeah, but they're also suffering of greed. They are suffering of anger. They are suffering of unawareness, and they're suffering of impermanence. This state of being well will end sooner or later.
When they die.
When they die, they cannot take anything, or when the tax authority comes. Yeah, and they suffer of never having enough. Yeah, even if they're rich, it's not enough.
Yeah.
So this is the God realm in the small scale, but there's also a big scale. If you have a lot of good karma and a lot of pride, then you will have a situation where you connect this good karma with the ego, and then you enjoy a good life, adorned with everything, but it's impermanent. It's like eating your good karma and not using it for a good purpose. Yeah, you just consume it. And then there is something when you combine deep meditation with ego and pride, then you can go into a formless God realm, which is then enjoyment of kind of abstraction of how the universe functions, abstractions of, how to say, of colors, of forms, of structures, of anything, structures of mind. But because there is an ego, the enjoyment is connected with something which will consume it up, and you will fall down. And this is called the God realms, and there are different levels of it. And the thing is, they feel very fine and they are very proud, but when they feel the karma is exhausting, they're really suffering because they see what will be their next life. And if you fall from a God realm down to something else, that's really bad. So that's the 6 realms, and in short. And you can have them when you go to a pizzeria with 6 friends, all of them in a different trip. The one in the God trip, he's having a good day, and wow, the decoration in the pizzeria is so nice, and the stuff is so beautiful. The pizza is crispy, and he likes everything. Yeah. The one in the semi-God state, I ordered the wrong pizza. The pizza of my neighbor is the better one. Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about the semi-gods. That's the jealousy. If someone is feeding the mind with jealousy all the time, he is fixated on the privileges of the others, not seeing his own possibilities. And if you are fixated on the privileges of others, you're suffering. You always see what they have, and you do not have, and that's so silly, but it's happening. And this is also a realm of beings, but it's also possible to have this trip in this life as the one who is looking at the neighbor's pizza and suffering of not having this fine pizza. Yeah? Then there's the human realm that's just getting it done. Yeah, so you get the menu and so maybe you are concerned about the prices and things like this, but yeah, so it's giving and taking. And then you can be in the animal realm. Oh, I'm so hungry. And the pizza comes up, and the pizza is eaten up before you even know what it was the kind of, oh, sorry, it was your pizza. I thought it was mine. So that's the animal realm. And there can be also the hungry ghost realm. The pizza is so small, and there's not enough on it. Yeah, and I'm still hungry. And they don't have the mousse au chocolat I like so much. Yeah? And the hell realm is even worse. You don't like the whole situation. Yeah? The deco of the pizzeria, oh, that's so old-fashioned, and the stuff, oh, she has some makeup, why doesn't she have some natural beauty? And when the pizza comes, you think, oh, there's all kind of stuff in it you don't want. In the sausage, there's chemical this, and the tomatoes were gotten by child labor, and you have bad connotations to each and everything. Yeah?
I can totally recognize like people from my life in like each of this.
Yeah, you can have each of these trips, and this is the basic 6 trips you can have in Samsara, and they are fed by the disturbing emotions we have: pride, jealousy, desire. What is it? Primitivity for the animal realm, stinginess for the hungry ghosts, and anger for the hell realm.
What are people angry about? Or like anger is just a cover up for a deeper emotion.
Anger is the reaction on something like unpleasant, and unpleasant can be everything. So anger can be a light anger of being just disturbed, but it can be very deep if you got hurt. If you've really got hurt, you know this sentence: hurt people hurt people. These toxic people, they are toxic because they were hurt. Yeah. So, and this is a circle of hurting, and this is what the Buddha taught. All of this is just feeding itself. It's a self-feeding circle, and you won't stop it without doing something. it doesn't stop by itself.